Hey, Janice.
Hi, Anthony.
Today we're going to talk about our favorite solo business tax deductions. So, as two of your favorite solo business owners, we're going to share our favorite income or tax deductions. This is kind of a nerdy topic, I get it, but who doesn't like talking about saving money?
Right.
I just want to point out this is not an all-inclusive list of the best or the must-do tax deductions, but just rather from our experience, one as an attorney, one as a paralegal business owner, like what works for us, and hopefully somehow you can get some good tips out of that. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe you'll go, oh, I didn't think of that. Yeah. So today we're going to talk about our favorite deductions and why. So some of that will be software programs, advertising, independent contractors, freelancers, home office, and YouTube equipment.
Yeah. And then lastly, we're going to name our least favorite solo tax deductions and why, just to flip the script a little bit. So make sure you stay for that.
So don't forget, get on our email list, anthonyspark.com/join for upcoming books.
Well, Janice, why don't you get us started with your first favorite?
Okay, so one of the things I like, again, you're talking about kind of a nerdy subject, is for me personally, is software programs. Hear me out. I'm not talking I'm not talking about like your Word documents or, what you have to have every day. But so, for example, I have one client, I have to go through probably 10,000 pages in hundreds and hundreds of PDFs, right? I have to make bookmarks. So I found a program that would cut my time in essentially half by sorting out by bookmarks. I mean, it sounds silly, but I saved hundreds of hours a year by the one software program. So now I get to write it off. I've saved time. And you're thinking, well, you didn't get paid for that time. Actually, not true. If you're a business owner that I'm working for, and I just told you I've saved 10 hours that you had to pay me, what are you going to do? You're going to give me more work. So it's a total win-win. I know it sounds really funny, but I'm going to be able to do more substantive work than sit there and sort out 1 through 100 pages. And so just a silly thing that I like, but they're out there. There's so many different kinds. Like if you run social media,
Hold
right?
on, sorry. Before you go on, I just want to point out, as one of your clients, right, as somebody who works with you, to me, you just saved me hours of researching a solution, not just the solution itself. So that makes you look like a champion. So please go on.
Oh yeah, but it's a total win-win, and it's saving everyone money. It's saving me a headache, and I do social media platforms. So you figure if you have 10 social media accounts, how much time is it going to take you to log into each account every time you want to post something? It's a long time. Instead, I invested in a software program. I can post all platforms all at once. It takes me maybe 4 or 5 minutes.
What are you using? Hootsuite or Buffer?
Hootsuite. Yeah.
Nice.
Not my favorite, but I use it because I haven't found one I liked better. But it's just those types of things that I get to write it off.
Yeah.
And it's totally a win-win.
Wait, try Buffer. That's what I've been using lately. It's been okay. I don't know, what your needs are specifically, but yeah.
Yeah, I'll take a look. So how about you? What's your favorite?
So my biggest one, my favorite deduction is the one I spend the most on, advertising.
Hey.
It's a big spend for me as an attorney. I just need to keep the client flow coming in. But it's not just as an attorney, also as an author. It helps drive book sales. As a YouTuber, it helps me build up my audience. But it feels good. For me, it feels like it's money that's immediately turning into, I'm going to call it rocket fuel for my business. Like it's directly related to growing my business as opposed to, I don't know, like, oh wow, I'm like totally slamming you, but like a piece of software or something.
Right. You're like, aside from just piece of software. No, but it does. It makes you feel good, right? Because you're boosting it up.
Yeah. And actually, one other thing, the way my business credit card works, I'm allowed to choose one category per year where I get like double cash back on that category. And since I chose advertising, I'm getting I think 10% back on all my advertising spend. So it's like pretty amazing. That feels really good.
So you're getting cash back and deductions, and you're feeling good.
So it's like I'm paying half, for my advertising.
I like that. That's a good one.
Yeah.
So that brings me to my next one, which I really love, independent contractors. Okay, it's kind of like you're going to talk about next.
Yep.
But here's what I like about it. First of all, I have a team. They're amazing. And this brings I'm bringing in independent contractors, right? You can write them off at the end of the year. It's different than employees. We can talk about that on another podcast.
Yeah, right.
But I'm bringing in this knowledge pool that I wouldn't normally have. So whereas I'm really good at a few different parts of paralegal work and different types of law, now we can do 10 different types of law because they have all this experience. So it's a total win-win for me because I'm bringing in more people that can help and that have more knowledge. They're also really great people. And it's definitely my favorite deduction by far because it also generates more work. Think about it. I'm only one person. I can only do so much. So if that gets filtered out, then I bring more in. The quality is better because now more people know what they're talking about. It's just a total win-win, at least in my situation.
Cool. So yeah, like you said, my one of my favorites is very similar, but a little different. And mine is Freelancers. I think we've done 3 or 4 podcasts on Fiverr alone. I love Fiverr. Yeah.
How do you really feel about Fiverr?
So the distinction I'd make between freelancers like Fiverr and what you're talking about, independent contractors, I'm not really hiring expertise, but rather I'm offloading one-off tasks, one at a time. And some of these tasks are particularly soul draining, so I am happy to offload them, and I'm just really grateful that that option exists. So yeah, like what's an example? Oh, syncing up the audio. I mean, this is really technical, but syncing up the audio and image on our YouTube videos. I mean, it would take me. I would have to be clicking and dragging the waveform of the audio onto our lips to make sure it's all synced up. And I don't want to do it. I don't want to. No, I could learn how to do it. I do not want to spend my life doing that. There are guys who love doing that on Fiverr, and they charge $5. It's amazing. So, and I get to deduct the $5, so it's really like $4 or whatever.
It is a win-win, right? It's still a win-win. And
what's your next one,
yes,
Jay?
you've talked about that a few times. So my next one, I like the home office deduction. This is a very, very particular deduction that has a lot of rules. I know this, but I fit into all the categories of those rules. The way that my home is set up, I have my own specific. I'm not
sandbagging you, man. You are sandbagging me later.
I'm telling you with this because I know how you feel about it. We'll get to. Stay tuned. I particularly like it. I'm not at my kitchen counter doing my work on my laptop. This is a dedicated office space where nothing else happens in here except for I do get visited by a few cats or something every now and then. But nothing else happens in here. This is all it is. So it works for us. It's the reason we purchased a home that was a little bit bigger because I was going to go spend the money elsewhere at a building to have my own office. Instead, we invested that into this one. So it was a win-win, and it's very particular, but it happened to work for me, and I love it.
I'm just you'll see later why I'm a little annoyed at Janice right now, but we'll talk about that in a second.
Stand by.
All right, so my last favorite is YouTube equipment. This is kind of a lately type of a thing. So as you've probably noticed, I've been cautiously adding our podcast to YouTube as well, getting our pretty faces out there, whatever you want to call it. And I actually wasn't sure that I wasn't very comfortable sharing my face and image at first, but you know what? Slowly I'm beginning to enjoy it more and more, and I feel like I'm getting to know people, which is really great. And it certainly helps. It would have been even harder for me to get past that hurdle if I couldn't deduct the cost of all the equipment and all the things that I've been trying. So it's nice to be incentivized to try new things and to expand my horizons. So yeah, the IRS is helping me get over these hurdles and get new mics and webcams and software. And wow, I just complimented the IRS for making me a better person. I can't believe I just said that.
Did you say that? Wow, okay.
Yeah, so I think that's all I have on favorites.
So should we talk about least favorites? I think you're ready for that one.
Yeah, you go first.
You want to go first? You want me to go first? Okay.
You go
first. Mine is silly because mostly I don't. So since I work from home, I do have to conduct business, right? I have to go places and I have to meet people, but I choose not to do like an office setting, where you can rent. I know you can use that to, you know what I mean? You can get them for the hour or whatever. I choose not to do that. Instead, I meet at like a Panera or a food thing. So what's confusing to me sometimes, and it's not my favorite, are the deductions for meals, even though I'm conducting business. And to me, it's confusing. I'm sure other people understand it, but personally for me, even though I'm there and I bought lunch and everything else, we're not dining for fun. We met for. Does that make sense? See, it's confusing to me. It's just confusing.
In a similar vein, my brother has this funny theory that we should be able to deduct clothes because I would only wear that at work.
Very true.
No, because it makes sense if you're like a performer, right? And you have a costume, that is totally deductible. And in his mind, wearing this shirt is my costume for work.
It's actually a good point. Would you wear a suit if you were sitting around watching football or whatever else? No, definitely not.
You know what? I was actually beginning to mock him, but he's actually right. So anyway.
Wow.
Awesome.
Yeah,
My least favorite deduction is
Go on.
Janice's favorite, the home office deduction. And for all the reasons she already countered. So basically, it's a really tricky one. The IRS loves auditing on it. You need to really, as Janice has done, you really need to lay out really, really strict and clear boundaries. They might even want a floor plan or a square footage thing of your house so that you can show, what percentage you're appropriately deducting. It sounds like Janice has done that. So
I've done I have it printed out. I can tell you the exact, it's a 15 by 15, and I can tell you what percentage of the house it is.
Because of Janice, I'm going to add one more least favorite, and it's the it's the automobile deduction where you deduct mileage for business travel. That's also super tricky, super technical, and the IRS loves auditing that. So I'm getting a bonus least favorite because of what you did to me there.
You know what? That is tricky though, because you have to be going, and there's a lot of rules, right?
And you do it by like
right.
quarter mile. It's insane. Yeah.
Yeah. And then if you're not right, and I totally agree with you. Yeah. We're on the same page with that one.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, So I think that's all we have for today, although I'm sure we could keep going on some of these deductions, but that's it. New book's coming out. Sign up, anthonyspark.com/join. And it sounds like a fun topic. Maybe we're going to have to talk about other things like this down the road.
Cool. Sounds good. Thanks everyone for listening. Thanks, Janice. Talk to you next time.